Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So we're here from Karandaaz, and today is the proposal development workshop for Karandaaz Discovery Challenge Round 2. I have with me the research team, Hasan Said, Ali Akbar Gamro, and Fatima Zahra. They will run you through what a perfect and a strong proposal looks like for this challenge. And just a note, our question and answer section is open. Please input all your queries there. We'll be answering them live, and there will also be a question and answer section at the end. The recording of this entire workshop will also be available on our YouTube channel by the end of day. And okay, Fatma, over to you.
Thank you very much, Ramsha. Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending the workshop. Right. Let me quickly go over the agenda for today's workshop. We'll begin by quickly covering what the Karandaaz Discovery Challenge itself is, then move on to this year's research call. We will walk you through the thematic area and scope that we have defined for this round, the key dates that you should be mindful of, the proposal guidelines, as in what you want to cover in an ideal proposal, the eligibility criteria, the evaluation criteria on the basis of which we will evaluate your proposals, and lastly, how you are supposed to submit your proposal. I will just go over these contents in detail, and then we can answer any questions that you may have. So before I talk about the theme for this round, let me briefly talk about why Karandaaz Discovery Challenge, or KDC, was envisioned in the first place, and what we have achieved so far. So KDC was launched in 2023 with the aim to support actionable research within the financial inclusion space in Pakistan. The idea essentially was that with major advancements taking place within the financial services domain, specifically within the digital financial services sector, it is critical to identify what kind of challenges persist and then studying the ecosystem to propose innovative and scalable solutions to address those problems. With this vision, in the first round, as you can see, we completed two very comprehensive studies. The first explored how digital banks can unlock savings and investments potential among Pakistan's 18 to 22-year-old demographic, highlighting innovative youth-focused solutions such as gamified savings and Sharia-compliant products. The second study examined offline digital payment models for low connectivity areas in Pakistan, revealing strong adoption potential to expand financial inclusion and reduce Pakistan's heavy reliance on cash. Both these studies are available on Karandaaz's website. You can see them in the publications section on our website. Now, moving on to what this year's theme is about, to give you a bit of context, as we all know that micro and small enterprises form the backbone of Pakistan's economy. However, they remain underfinanced by traditional banking channels due to issues like limited collateral, informal operations, and lack of credit histories. Moreover, even though Pakistan's microfinance sector has expanded its outreach, yet the coverage remains relatively limited compared to the significant size of the MSE market. So, in light of this, digital lending has emerged as a potential solution to bridge this gap, leveraging technology to expand access, reduce costs, and improve risk management. However, for digital lending to scale, it is important to understand what kind of models will work in the local landscape. What does the demand side look like? What does the supply side look like? And how we can ensure convergence between the two. So, if I had to really summarize the overall objective of this exercise, as you can see on this slide, it is to unlock inclusive growth by advancing research backed digital lending models that expand affordable, trusted, and scalable financing for Pakistan's micro and small enterprises. So moving on to the scope, we have divided this exercise into two phases. The second phase will essentially complement the findings of the first phase. So the first phase is basically the research phase. where we have outlined some basic areas that we want to be covered in the study. This phase should focus on mapping the current state of digital lending for MSEs in Pakistan. Things like who are the major players in this space, what kind of products they are offering, and how does the disbursement and repayment work. Are these products, programs integrated with RAST? How is RAST being leveraged? So, questions like that. What does the demand for loan look like, particularly within the MSE segment? And then, based on this, this phase should ideally cover what does the gap in financing look like. Second, we have product design, pricing, and delivery mechanisms. Because affordability, we believe, is a key consideration in this exercise, this phase should examine the design of loan products, their pricing and cost structures, along with functionalities including disbursement and repayment processes. Along with pricing, it is also important to assess speed, convenience, and user experience as key factors which influence adoption of these services. Then we have competitive benchmarking. This includes comparing offerings from digital lenders with those from traditional banks, microfinance banks and institutions, NBFCs, and informal sources such as committees and money lenders along the lines of pricing, disbursement speed, and customer experience, for example. On the demand side, we would like to see customer perceptions and barriers. So, what are the pain points that hinder adoption of digital lending options among MSCs, including any eligibility issues or trust issues that exist? Lastly, we have challenges and market opportunities where we want a high level analysis of regulatory and operational challenges that affect digital lending uptake, while highlighting market opportunities and emerging trends that can drive adoption. Within this component, you may also want to explore global examples of how digital lending models have scaled globally, and if there are any lessons that we can apply to the local context. So, this phase will culminate in creating concrete public knowledge on the subject that can be used to guide policy and action. And based on the research that is done in this phase, we would then move on to phase two, which is the solution design phase. In phase two, our aim is to design an innovative, scalable, and commercially viable digital lending product that complements the learnings that we have gathered from phase one and addresses the needs of MSEs. Important considerations within this phase will include pricing, service delivery, regulatory compliance, and operational mechanisms. Things like how can such a model be tailored for low literacy users or first time digital users can be an additionality. So, by designing a basic model, the consultant should also provide strategies to refine loan product design and acknowledge any limitations that exist. Having said that, while this is largely the scope that we have outlined for this challenge round, we encourage applicants to propose any additional angles that you believe are critical to scale digital lending for MSCs and also rationalize why you think that is important. Just a quick recap of some important dates. Please note that the applications for this challenge round will close on the 6th of November, COB. So we encourage you all to submit your proposal within the deadline. Moving on to the proposal submission guidelines, this slide shows the contents of an ideal proposal. We invite all of you to submit concise proposals, no more than 15 pages, which cover the content as shown on the slide and understanding of the project scope, including understanding of the local landscape. Your research methodology, including any stakeholder consultations or primary research that you may want to undertake for that matter, key team member profiles, the work plan with deliverables and timelines clearly defined, and lastly, the funding requested along with its complete utilization plan. Moving on to the eligibility criteria, we do not have any defined eligibility criteria in place. We welcome proposals from all interested individuals, firms, or entities who possess relevant expertise and experience. However, in case of firms, we have a certain pre-qualification criteria in place. The firm must be formally registered and have a valid NTN and should be operational for a minimum of 2 years. Also, though it is not required, having relevant experience in the DFS or microfinance sector would be a plus. Moving on to the evaluation criteria on the basis of which we will evaluate your proposals. As you can see on this slide, there are 4 equally weighted parameters on the basis of which we will assess your proposals. First is how well you showcase your understanding of the subject and the scope, and how relevant it is to the objectives of the research. Second is your proposed methodology, its feasibility, practicability within the defined time frame, and how do you plan to execute it. Third is your relevant past experience of doing similar assignments. Again, past experience of working in the DFS sector will be a major advantage, not required. Lastly, what value addition or ecosystem development idea you are proposing and how well it is conceptualized. Lastly, to participate in this challenge round, you can submit your proposals on the email address as shown on the slide, kdc@karandaaz.com.pk with the subject line proposal submission, Karandaaz Discovery Challenge 2025. We have received some queries on our email address, which we will respond by today. In case you have any further queries, you can write to us on the same email address and we will respond to you on email. This is it from our side. Now we'll address any questions that you may have. We'll see in the chat box. And I invite other panelists to weigh on them.
Fatima. Thank you, Fatima. So we've received one question. Is this challenge phase just focused on research? Then will occur in a separate phase. Panelists, please.
No, both of these phases will take us at the same time. The idea is that this particular project or this particular challenge will be in 2 categories. The first, within the challenge, within the proposal, is a landscape study of sorts, which will look to see what the landscape is by different stakeholders, or looking at what was done previously, and then offer multiple or maybe one product or one solution to what the pitfalls of it underneath.
Next question. So we have another one. This also includes analyzing pricing dynamics by comparing the formal footprint emerging from RAST with that emerging from OneLink and formal resources. So you're not clear on what this means. Okay, panelists, please.
Mutahir, I'm a bit confused about your question on pricing dynamics. So RAST being a payment system and we are looking at digital lending over here. Can you please clarify your question?
I think somebody else has raised their hand. The thing is that we will not be taking any questions via audio. You are suggested to ask your questions within the chat below and we'll answer them.
You want to read the question?
So next question, can we propose a complete ecosystem from merchant onboarding to RAS payment and also embedded finance?
The scoping that we did while drafting these QRs, we found out that most of the merchants that have been onboarded, quote unquote, by financial institutions are being offered some sort of lending product, whether it's a working capital line or a term loan. But the thing is, lending is being piggybacked off payments in this instance. So even merchants that are not onboarded or acquired, we believe form a potential. So lending should be lending is not scaled. Lending is right now being piggyback of payments. So you can to respond to Faisal Islam's question, yes, absolutely you can, as long as it's a scalable solution that you're proposing.
We have another question from Sahil. For phase 2, how developed does the product idea have to be? Are you looking for a working prototype?
A very good question. In regards to this, the idea is entirely up to you. You can propose a working model, or you can propose a hypothetical. For this, I would recommend looking up our study for offline payments, which was done last year, in which the vendor proposed two different hypothetical ideas for us. And so it's entirely up to you if you want to propose an idea or if you want to take an experiment. The idea behind this challenge is to open up to see what different potentials people have in the scope that they've given up.
So Osaf Ullah has asked, is a little confused whether it is getting a loan for a client, Karandaaz, as compared to banks or preparing proposal for a client.
No. So when we're talking about digital lending, we're not talking about the businesses that are associated with Karandaaz. We were actually looking at primarily the retail sector, that too micro and small merchants within that sector. We're looking for a digital lending solution or product that caters to that segment.
Okay, so Mudar has clarified his initial question. So he's saying, when you say pricing dynamics, does that mean the risk-based pricing or the pricing of underlying payment rails like transaction costs?
Right, Mudar, this is an excellent question. We meant both actually. So if payment rails are being used, then what is the cost that will be incurred? And then we were also talking about the pricing of the product itself, both actually.
So can you clarify your question? It's very rigorous at this point. Shed some light on product development. If you could explain your question or your query better, it will be a better place to answer it for you. If anybody else has any more questions, please do type them in the chat below. I'm happy to answer them.
So Samya has asked, what type of customer perception survey information do you already have, and how much segmentation of potential clients has been conducted?
Okay, thank you, Samya, for this question. We haven't done any background research beyond what we have written in the TORs or the RFP itself. So we did some scoping for the RFP, but we expect the applicants or the winner of the grant to do this as they see fit in terms of a good methodology.
Sahil has asked, are we encouraged to use the full 4 months, or are shorter timelines welcome?
Shorter timelines are welcome as well as the full 4 months. But in both cases, you will be asked to defend why you feel the need to maximize all 4 months, or if you are willing to complete this project in a lesser time, how will you do so? You'll be judged on that quality as well. And we also have to verify that even for your budget, even if you go for the maximum amount, or if you go for a lesser amount, you will be asked during the proposal as a shortlisted to defend that as well.
So Mustra has also asked, will we get any certificate?
If that includes the certification for completion of the project, then yes. I don't think anything apart from that. Guys, please happy to answer them. Please put them in the chat.
There's also a discussed tab, so those are the questions.
Yeah, we'll answer.
Mutahir continues, for the second phase, does it have to be a completely new solution product in a Pakistani context, or there can be suggestions to improve its uptake through better terms distribution while justifying the intervention that will improve it?
Okay, Mutahir, so we don't have it can be either, it can be a new product or tailoring an existing product. The problem statement is that digital lending to merchants has not scaled. That is the problem we are trying to solve. That is the problem we're trying to solve. And how you get there is a journey. So we are open to any ideas as long as they solve the problem that digital lending to merchants has not scaled, and whatever lending is taking place in the market is primarily being done on the back of payments. Merchants are acquired for the purposes of payments, and then those merchants are given programs or exposed to programs that are related to lending. That is not at least we think it's not a scalable idea. If it is, we'd like to see a scalable model.
This is why I would like to refer you guys to our previous challenge round, the one specifically titled offline payments, because in that the implementing partner or the winning firm, they proposed two different solutions to us, and they were both hypothetical. Obviously, the idea is that somebody in the market will scale it up. Mutahir has another question. Ajit, that's for you. And the proposed solution can theoretically be built on RAS rails too, right?
Mutahir, somehow you want payments to be roped in. Absolutely, it can. It can. That is one of the ideas that you can use. Absolutely, yes.
The documents, Samia, yes, both the reports are available on our website. You can go and check them out under the publications tab and in the research. And I'll ask somebody to actually maybe put the URL as well in the link below.
Hi guys, so we're here for 5 to 10 more minutes. If we don't receive any more queries, we'll be signing off. You still have our email address that is displayed right now. You can still send in your queries and we'll be happy to answer. Meanwhile, I'll be sending the links to the publications, to the 2 publications that were the result of round 1. You can check both of them out. So we're still here for 5 more minutes.
And our lovely host Ramsha has sent us the link in the chat for you to access the documents from the published reports from last year's round on KDC. I would highly suggest people to go through both of them, but specifically the one on offline payments or digitalization of payments, because that's the one that carried the information on a hypothetical model. We have a question by Asher who says, do payment systems need to be integrated to AI, etc.? I believe that is your choice if you want to go down that route, and we'll be happy to see what the proposal lines up in that. Yes, once again, if you want to use an AI tool to monitor them or to process them, and if it's a tool that you want to build into this lending product, we'll be happy to look at it in the proposal.
So we know that credit scoring systems have been around. There is also a nano lending market. Whether it's thriving or not is another question, but there is nano lending that is taking place in Pakistan. And there are credit scoring models. If you're suggesting anything above and beyond that, we would be very interested in that type of solution as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much everyone for attending and the participation. We're logging off now, but again, you can stay tuned to our social media channels and email us your queries. We will be sharing this presentation and the recording of this workshop through email. and we'll be uploading it on our social media channels. So please stay tuned. And remember, the deadline is 6 November 2025. And best of luck. Thank you.